Hello everybody and welcome into the SFA Season 16, Week 12 BearCave. Sorry I didn't have my BearCave ready. I'm a bit discombobulated. I think my air conditioner blew or something because it's running all day. Smells like exhaust in here, so if I pass out during stream, you know why. You might want to call the authorities, but we are vibing. Crazy week so far. We had top 10 USC go down, couple other upsets. We had a fun watch party between Houston and Texas Tech, if you haven't already watched that. But this is the SFA. It's an online dynasty, ran through Discord, Twitch, and YouTube. If you want to jump in, coach a team, build them up through recruiting, you definitely can. A lot of schools are open. Welcome in, guys. We got Dune here. He's on game day this week. We got Ohio kicking off. Welcome in, Mike. Coach Wind has joined us. Nathan, big win in double overtime. Yeah, exactly. I'll just post my. You're perfect. Yeah, if I start feeling like I'm gonna pass out or something, I'll let you know. I got a window open, so I might end up getting a noise complaint probably before I die here. And Dogwater pissed about Mike Todd's 7 points. Or, I guess that was Miles Tilley. So, as always, guys, you guys know what BearCave is about. The top 10 games that are not game day, we jump in, see if it's close, and then we will jump in if it, at the very end, if it's within one score. And also, we got the raffle tickets. So, the Bobanage you can redeem for raffle tickets now. So, if you do redeem one, make sure to DM me as well. And we do predictions on every single matchup here. So, let's get it started. Hopefully, we can get into this. GCU plays tonight. Tyrone Grant Foster is going to take on ASU. Massive game for the Lopes. Where are we going? We're going to the MAC. This is a MAC game. Ohio has pretty much wrapped up their division. Eastern Michigan can still win their division if they win out, and I think they need a Ball State loss to avoid tiebreakers. So a bit of a couple of different things, but Coach Howard, if you're here, let me know, kick or receive. You are the home team. And for those of you guys at home, make your predictions. Remember, it goes off of who covers. So do you think Ohio will cover the -3 spread, or do you have EMU pulling out the upset on the road? Each of these predictions gets you a minute, so make sure you got your Bobanas loaded and ready to go before we get started. Chef Moose in here doing some fish and chips. Kick, by the way. All right, perfect. So we'll jump on into the game. 16 viewers, welcome in. And remember, guys, we got Wazoo for game day. Washington State taking on the Pac-12 North Division leader, Boise State. They're like 4-5, and they lead the division. One of the best stories here in the SFA. And let me turn on our desktop audio here. So here we go. We got a snow game in the MAC. Little MACtion going on. Nobody wanting to use their Bobanas, I guess. All right. Nobody wants to bet on Nolan Figs, I guess. But as you can see, it looks like with one more win, Ohio State will wrap up the division, and meaning they could play for a playoff spot. And on the other side, Central Michigan looks like they have it locked down unless Eastern Michigan wins outright and Ball State hopefully loses one more. So a lot of tiebreakers coming down to the last couple of weeks. But here we go. A little snow game here for Ohio. And then Eastern Michigan probably going to have Coach Mike Gronstol back there with him as well. So a lot on the line for both these programs, and Black wanted to kick. So here we go, folks. Welcome in to BearCave. Glad you're here. Let's have a good one. Only 3 weeks left in the regular season, and we are off in Week 12. First drive, it's going to go to EMU for a touchdown, 14-0 on the road. See if Ohio can punch back. They do not. So not a great showing here in the snow. You'd think the snow would favor them as they get one back, and ooh, that's a ball buster at the end of the half. So EMU shocking the world here. My goodness, 27, but Ohio storming back. They're on a drive entering the fourth quarter here, and it's a fumble. So Eastern Michigan may have just done it. They are up 20. We're going to need some scores here, and it's a 2-score game. It's not over by any means, but once again, we can't jump in unless we get to that 1-score mark. So we'll see if Ohio can get it done here. Trying to be the comeback kids. They need something big to happen, and it doesn't. 4th and 15, turnover on downs, and that is going to end the ball game. So Eastern Michigan with an upset here across the division, as Jessica Aspeth, the SFA player, Omari Dunn gets a couple touchdowns as well. He gets 3, actually. But a 13-point win for Eastern Michigan as Nolan Figs goes 19 of 37, 270, no touchdowns. Omari Dunn running it 33 times, only about 100 yards. And receiving-wise, looking at this, pretty spread out. And on defense, Hubert Wells, 3 TFLs, no sacks for him. Jamal Dunlap, the Colorado transfer, does get a sack. They have 3, so I feel like Ohio had a chance here. As we take a look at EMU, who keeps their chances alive, it is Jason McCoy, 14 of 22, 254, and 1 touchdown. And 2 different running backs getting touchdowns. Love to see that. Clark getting the bulk of it. And on defense here, Julius Nambo, SFA player, former Navy guy. Couple deflections and a fumble for Eric Brown. So that will do it here from the MAC. And for those of you guys following along at home, that is a EMU outright victory, as we will pay that out. Only 9% of you guys had EMU covering. So tough loss there for Coach Howard Black, as we always want to get our players of the game here. We got 3 SFA players. Mari Dunn, former Buffalo guy. All right, so this is EMU outright. Welcome in, Flame. Finally winning a Bob and a bet. All right, next up, we're going to go to the Mountain West. Now, this game had a lot going for it coming into the week. You have UNLV and Wyoming. Both lead their divisions. But if you guys look at the other matchups that happened, coming into the week, had either of these teams lost, they would have then not been the division leader. But now, everybody below them lost. UTEP lost, Hawaii lost. So regardless of the outcome of this game, both of these teams will still lead their division. So it's not as critical that either team wins this one now. So they both kind of lucked out here. But because he's the way team coach, Cryo, if you're here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. And for those of you guys at home, this is a 3.5-point favorite for the road team. So who covers? So we have UNLV at minus 3.5. Or do you have Wyoming shocking the world? Remember, this is a team that beat Fresno State. I mean, both teams now have beaten Fresno State. So get a minute on the clock. And we are doing a ketchup versus mustard matchup here. So, Wind, it's only your choice if I don't see Cryo. So, I'm not seeing any Cryo right now. So, we got the yellow, and then they want the red over here. Wonder if I can... There you go, the scarlet. Alright, so we got the yellow versus the scarlet. Welcoming Coach Tribe. Yeah, okay, I do see Cryo. Heads and kicks. So we'll jump on with number 22 Cryo here. Both teams lead their divisions. This very well could be technically a playoff game here in a couple of weeks. So here we go, folks. The ketchup versus mustard matchup. Going to be a fun one. Very evenly matched. Wyoming on a bit of a tear. But we've seen this story before from Wyoming. They have a great season, and then they just fizzle out at the end. Can they make a statement, get a top 25 win over UNLV? Here we go. We are on the beautiful Wyoming turf here. All right, so he said heads. Where is it? Where is it? Heads and kick. Okay. So we got the mustard versus ketchup. Let's get her done. Welcome in, Coach Tribe. All right, here we go. So in the Mountain West, which has recently, at least the last 3 seasons, always been probably the most interesting conference race year to year. UNLV starts us out first. They get another quick one. Wyoming, though, adds one before half. And can they tie it up? No, they cannot. So down 7 at home. Can they find a way? UNLV keeps scoring. Oh, no, this might get bad. Can Wyoming figure out a way? We know UNLV likes to choke. Okay, it's a 1-possession game. Here we go. Next possession, it's going to be a punt. We're going to go 1 play at a time. UNLV not like this. We get a stoppage. Looks like a punt. All right, so they're going to have to, once again, get a stop, and they do. It's a fumble. All right, so Wyoming has the ball now. See if they can find a way to get a touchdown, and they cannot. And they go for it, and they get 10. All right, so getting aggressive around midfield. 3rd and 5, 4th and 5, still not at that 2-minute warning. And he is sacked on 4th down. So can Wyoming get the ball back before we jump on in? It's 1st and goal. It's not looking good for Wyoming. Let's jump in. Inside 2 minutes now. 1st and goal for UNLV. Hand off to the outside. Doesn't look like DeMarcus McKenzie, so maybe he left the game early. Interesting. 2nd and goal now. 2nd and goal. Brett Brooks in shotgun. Hand off. No, he's going to keep it. He goes to the outside. He turns the corner. Touchdown, Brett Brooks. They extend it to 2 scores. All right, so you know what that means is that we now have to go back to the sim. Mike, it was a decent game. If you want to go back to watch it, you can. I'm not going to spoil anything for you if you do want to go back. Remember, all VODs are saved to our YouTube channel, or you can watch the playback on Twitch. Now, remember, we can't jump back in unless they score here. So, a couple of big plays. Here they go. It's 1st and goal, and 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal. Time is ticking. 4th and goal. They finally get it done. We'll send the extra point, and here we go. Can they get the onside kick? 20 seconds left in a dream. Wyoming. Here's the kick. It's picked up. They got to force a fumble, and they can't. So Brandon Harris picks it up. Oh, my God. Thank you for the, thanks for the sub, Mike. 7 months. Welcome, welcome. That was very loud. All right. We've got a couple of timeouts, so maybe there's a chance that UNLV might run a real play. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know how. They, like, randomly changed some kind of a Streamlabs thing. I don't know. Outside my, my scope. But I definitely don't miss one, Mike. See, that's the point of him. All right, so they got to snap it on 3rd down. Will they run a real play? No, they won't. Boo, Cryo, boo. Run a real play. He's scared. So UNLV gets the win, and that will end up being a UNLV cover for those of you guys fighting at home. Come on, punt it. So it looks like UNLV now is the favorite in the Mountain West. What a timeline we're living in right now. I don't know if that clinches the division. I'll have to look at the end of this week. But DeMarcus McKenzie didn't do much. And he had 2 turnovers. Did he fumble twice? Not sure. But great job here for Wyoming and Coach Cryo. But the silver lining for Coach Wind is that he still is the leader in the division with UTEP losing. So he just has to take care of business, and he'll get his rematch here in a couple of weeks. And that's the important one. But yes, that it will go down as a UNLV cover here. So this time, the majority of you guys got your Bobanos back. Or got your Bobanos at least. And man, we've got some interesting games on this card tonight. None more interesting than where we're going next. But let's first wrap this game up. As Brett Brooks, he goes 18 of 32, 314, and 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. DeMarcus McKenzie, only 3.5 a carry. He was in the Heisman race, probably not anymore. James Walker has another big-time day. And on defense, Casey Bennett gets 11, 4 TFLs for DeMarcus Davis, and Ubaldo Kingsbury gets 3, and 3 sacks between them as well. No interceptions, couple of deflections across the board, and 2 fumbles and a recovery. Ubaldo having a big-time day today. And for Wyoming, Chris Neal, 35 of 51. When this team throws it 50 times, they're not going to win a lot of football games. 388 and 1 touchdown. Jamie Brown, only 100 yards today. And Ryan McGee, Yams legend, only 5 catches. And on defense, 8 tackles there, couple of TFLs, and no standouts here. The interception goes to Jake Folk. And 3 fumbles, all 3 were recovered. Clash Sparkman, SFA player, but no deflections. So that will do it here from Wyoming. It was a UNLV cover. I believe they may have just clinched the division. I don't know for sure, but I do know Hawaii lost, so it might be San Diego State that's right behind them now. But they beat them, so I think UNLV has clinched their division, if I'm a betting man. But I'll confirm on the Patreon Playoff Push podcast this week. But that is a UNLV cover, irregardless. And now we're going to go to the Big 12. And in the Big 12, man, the North is absolutely diabolical. If you have the server open, I'd suggest go look at the standings, because my, oh my, it is ludicrous. And right now, Iowa State controls their destiny. Yes, at 4-5, they control their own destiny. If they lose to Nebraska, Nebraska has the tiebreaker over all the other teams that are 3-3. So Nebraska would then control their destiny, much like last season. We could see an 8-5 Nebraska make the playoff. Last year they were 9-4 making the playoff. So we'll see if Zach can get it done again. So Zach or Schwartz, if you're here, let me know. Heads or tails, kick or receive. And this one is a Nebraska 4.5-point favorite. Remember, Iowa State has Kirko Squatch, the old Georgia Tech player. So going to be very interesting to see what happens, as we got a 4.5-point favorite in Iowa State. And we haven't seen Iowa State in a couple of weeks because they started losing, but all of a sudden they're good again, apparently. Guess I have my caps lock on. So plus 4.5 here. You got 1 minute for your predictions. Perfect. Welcome in, Coach Schwartz. Big time game, and you got a big time upset over, who was it, Oklahoma State? So keeping your playoff hopes alive at 4-5. My goodness, that's the beauty of this season. We're having fun with it. So we'll go. So you can't choose heads or tails, but because I don't see Zach, we'll go on board with you, and then we'll make sure you kick the ball first if you can. Coach Tribe, he's Steve. All right, so let's get her done. Very evenly matched poll here. So very interested to kind of see what happens with this one. I have no idea, because Nebraska, they're a very mixed bag, especially with a freshman quarterback. You guys never know what's going to happen with the freshmen. Typically, they are not as good as they should be. Whereas you got a guy like Kirko Squatch, who this is his first year starting, so we'll see if he's a bit better. So, yeah, I know you know Schwartz, IRL. Now, the question is your name actually Steve-O Schwartz? That is a SFA player waiting to happen. I need to make somebody named Steve-O. I think that's a great first name. And the question is, Steve-O just like slang for, or like a nickname for Steve, or like something longer, like Steve-O Vicious or something? We got Jack Trice Stadium, my favorite venues in all of sports. Let's get her done as we are going to kick with Iowa State. Steve Orenthal. Steve-Alis? Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. Nebraska and Iowa State. Who controls their own destiny in the Big 12 North? Both 4-5. Nebraska gets us done first. As we head to the second quarter, it looks like a very back-and-forth game incoming. This is not your grandpa's Iowa State, nor your grandpa's Nebraska. Both new eras for these teams. Remember, Nebraska was in the national championship just last season. Came up short against Baylor. And now Iowa State has the lead as we go to the fourth quarter. Can Nebraska hang on? There they go. They take the lead. We're going to go one play at a time now. Iowa State, can they make the drive of a lifetime? Oh, the big-time penalty. It's 3rd and 12, fourth down, decision time. It looks like they decide to punt, so they got to get a stop. Remember, we'll jump in at that 2-minute mark. 4th down, Iowa State gets off the field with a sack of Vondell Bronco, as now we will jump in here. 4th and 4, big-time play. They got to go for it. They still have all the timeouts, so not the end of the world if they don't get it here. Kirko Squatch at quarterback. They bring a blitz over the middle. Hits his man. 1st down. The drive continues. Big-time game. Big-time moment there for Kirko as the drive continues now. They need a touchdown. Shotgun formation, he drops back. Kirko Squatch, the former BearCave reward player, and he punches through for 7 to Ryan Moore. 2nd and 3 now. Clock is ticking. Not going hurry up quite yet. They definitely do not want to give the ball back to Vondell Bronco and this high-powered offense with Arian Green Davis. So 2nd and 3. It's going to be a screen pass here to the running back. They get it off. A lot of room. Great blocks to the outside. Justin McCall gets 13. 1st and 10 now at the 17. They need a touchdown. They're going empty. 3 guys to the left, 2 to the right. Kirko to the end zone. Open man. Touchdown, Iowa State. Spencer Douglas gives them the lead. What a throw and what a drive. Very methodical from good old Kirko Squatch. As the extra point is up and good. So a 3-point lead now for Iowa State. And now Nebraska has their chance to respond. Here we go. 31-28, Nebraska on the way. They are returning this one up to the 25. It's Arian Green Davis, one of the 99 speed guys in the country. And here comes the freshman Vondell Bronco. He was a 5-star. Just kind of living in the shadow of Bryce Beers in high school as the number 2 guy. Commits to Nebraska. He's a very scrambler-heavy type quarterback. As he drops back here, he takes off immediately, breaks one tackle. He's so good, and he slides surprisingly as the clock continues to run. They have all 3 timeouts, only needing a field goal. And they've been among the league leaders in kicking all season long. So definitely have one of the better kickers in the country. So probably only need to get to about the 35-yard line. Pistol formation for Bronco. Drops back. Clean pocket. He escapes anyway. Stiffies a man. Gets the 1st down with ease. Vondell Bronco, everybody. 25 yards on the ground today, but he does have a touchdown as they have a minute on the clock. They hurry it up now. Pistol. 3 to the left side. They're playing contain. It doesn't matter. They get him by a shoelace. And the clock continues to run. He's yet to throw the ball here on this drive. They're going to huddle as they take a timeout. 54 seconds left. Little pistol here. They bring 4 over the middle. Hits his man on the slant. It's Washiko Johnston. The SFA player gets close to a first down. The clock continues to roll. 3rd and inches. They got to get this. Don't count out a run here. As Vondell just dumps it off to the up man, and they get across the 50, and they get more. Maurice Smith stiffies his way to 10. 35 seconds left. Looking good here for Nebraska. Inside the 45, only need about 9 yards to get in field goal range. 1st and 10, Vondell. They bring 4. He escapes up the middle, and he only gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Missed opportunity. It's Igor Torgensen, the freshman. We've got 20 seconds left. Guys got to get back to the line. Tons of time being wasted here as he floats that one open. Man, what a toss to Justin Brassard. Gets them in range. So now this is definitely fringe field goal range. Definitely want to get closer. You still got the timeout left. We could definitely see some free football here, baby. Can Vondell make a play? Trying to make this field goal a bit easier. 14 seconds over the middle. He does. And Bobby Williams gets 4. They have a chance here to run one more play. And they'll take it. So 20-30 on the day for Vondell. Very nice, as they might run out of time here if they're not careful. Oh, it's intercepted. No, wait. Oh, my God. That was the game. They thought they could get him on the quick screen. A sigh of relief through the Nebraska crowd as they'll line up for the field goal. 5 seconds left. It is a 49-yarder to tie the game. The kick is up, and it is no good! Iowa State wins! Unbelievable! And Iowa State will control their own destiny in the Big 12 North. Shambles for Coach Zach, and folks, this is why you recruit an SFA kicker. Oh my goodness. 1 second left. Iowa State's going to fall and secure the win and the outright victory. What a game. What a way to survive. Winning off the kicker. Iowa State is so back, baby. Remember, this is the team that was 9-0, and then they lost to Nebraska, and they didn't win another game that year. They just came back. They got back over the hump. They're 5-5. But they're still in the position to make a run for the playoff. And it's not too far-fetched. Oklahoma State already clinched the division over there, and Iowa State already beat Oklahoma State. So they theoretically just win their next 2 games, and then they face Oklahoma State again, beat them again, and you're in the playoff. Yeah, Flame, Nebraska's on their IRL Michigan run right now, because Michigan IRL I think is like 5-5. Definitely a bit of a fall off here, and you always know, I mean, I felt like they'd be a little bit better, but we knew the run last year was just improbable. This is a team that just doesn't get a lot of love in the sim. So tough loss there for Vondell and company, but you never want to leave it up to the kicker. Should try to get the touchdown. All right, so let's take a look at the statistics. The scoring summary looks like this. Green Davis gets into the end zone. Squatch as well as we look at the player stats. Kirko goes 22 of 37, 267, 2 touchdowns, 59%. McCall was the leading rusher with 61 yards. And through the air, it was Spencer Douglas, the tight end, who had the game-winning touchdown. Kevin Kramer not doing much this year. On defense, Mike Bernard gets 12 tackles, 4 TFLs for Henry, 1 sack here for Kenneth Jones. No interceptions. And a lot of deflections here for Richie Boots. Fumble goes to Igor Torgensen, the SFA player freshman, and he fell on it. And for Nebraska, Vondell Bronco goes 20 of 31, 189, and 2 touchdowns. Rushing the ball was Maurice Smith, 26 of 101. Neither team could really run the ball all that well tonight, as Wishiko and Green Davis were the top 2 targets. And on defense, you had Nunez get 9 tackles. TFLs were tied with Jones and Mayhew. No sacks on the night, no interceptions, and deflections. Won by Tim Cream, and Skip Stackle gets a fumble. And that's just kind of the thing. They don't really have great corners anymore here for Nebraska. Yeah, definitely redemption with the missed field goal. Normally it goes the other way. If you miss your opportunity, they kill you. They kill you a little bit later on. So you got a bit lucky on that one. But you know what? When you're a 5-5 team, you need a little bit of luck. Remember, guys, if you're trying to fight for a bowl game for promises, you only need to get to 6 wins. But if you're actually trying to play in a bowl game, typically 7 wins is the marker you need to get to guarantee yourself a game. So just remember that. You will get left out of bowl game, most likely at 6 wins, but it will count for your promises. All right, so now next man up, we continue on, and we are going to the Big Ten. We have 2 very good teams here that neither are currently ranked. I mean, Ohio State was ranked in the top 10 at one point, and they've just had some issues. Michigan State coach CTE has had a great season as well. Both these teams, if Michigan stumbles down the stretch, I know they won this week, but one of these teams could sneak their way into the Big Ten championship. So we'll see what happens here. Currently, Ohio State is a 2.5-point favorite, so let's do that one, as the 40% had Iowa State winning that one. Nicely done. So now who covers? Do you have Ohio State at the minus 2.5, or do you have MSU at the plus 2.5? Shocking the world, continuing their run. This is a run from Michigan State we haven't seen since McNasty was the coach. So get those Bobanos churning for that one, as Ohio State is the favorite on the road. So we'll jump on board with them because I do not see Coach CTE in the stream. Dogwater, you can still win the, Texas State also lost. So you guys are still in line for the what is that, the I-5 rivalry or whatever. And we see Michigan State currently touting the number 3 defense. Now, I'm not sure if Michigan State has really played anybody of note, but very interesting. And this was an Ohio State team that I thought was back. I thought this team was going to run away with it. It would be the Ohio State of old, especially the way Michigan kind of started out the season a bit wonky. Remember, they were the number 1 seed last season. But I guess I was wrong. Michigan pulled it together. They found their offense. So here we go. So Michigan State will start with the rock. Can Coach CTE get a win? Now, Michigan State still lost to Michigan, so they would need Ohio State to upset Michigan here in a couple of weeks if they are able to win this one at home. As we start out 14-7 for Ohio State. 14-10 now. Michigan State fighting back, hanging in there. Tight game. Got to score here. They don't. Couple missed opportunities here. They finally score as we enter the 4th quarter. And a punt. Another punt. And they got in. They go for 2, interestingly enough, but it's back to 5 points. We'll now go 1 play at a time here. And another big drive, it seems, here for Ohio State, but it's 4th down. Will they go for it? Field goal is good. So it's now a, 8-point game here. 2nd and 5, here we go. Michigan State down 8. Can they make a drive to tie this game up? Been a long time since we've seen Ohio State really be competitive, at least 2 or 3 years. So 1st and 10 here. Four-man front for Ohio State. And dumping that off to the running back, Tyler Peters. He gets 8 as well. So a lot of these players were recruited while McNasty was at the school. So they saw Michigan State playing the national championship. So as a Yamit DB hits him, and there he goes! Touchdown MSU! Jason Irvin right to the dome. What a yam! Now they got to go for 2, see if they can tie this one up. Now remember, they still have the 3 timeouts, so the game is still alive, even if they don't get it. But they're going shotgun. It's a keeper for the quarterback. He gets it with ease. Michigan State. There we go, 32-32. Great job there from Michigan State. But they might have left too much time for Ohio State, as they've got a quarterback named Vincent Hoffman. Oh, wait a second, we got a return! There he goes! He's angling to the outside across the 50. Oh my, so now Ohio State in very favorable field position. As Vincent Hoffman at quarterback. Remember, this is the guy who beat out Lance Malone, and that sent him to Oregon State to be their quarterback. As John Nelson gets about 5 on this carry. So now about a minute left, already pushing field goal range. 2nd and 4. Vincent Hoffman dropping back over the middle. That was a kind of a hospital ball. He's having a great game, though. Flame saying those kids were in middle school. Are you trying to say it's been a while since McNasty was in the Natty? What was that? Season... I guess it was a little bit ago. It was even before Jay Jettas. It was season 12. I guess you're right. They're just starting high school as they float this one out. That's going to be a first. That's crazy. McBurnfinger was running around 4 years ago. Not IRL, but. So 1st and 10, 40 seconds left. This quarterback looks puny. Hoffman over the middle, hits a wide open man. Oh no. Michigan State. They are, they're acting like Swiss cheese now. This might be an easy win for Ohio State. It'd only be about a 37-yarder right now. So 40 seconds left here. Vincent Hoffman, barring a turnover, seems like they got this in the bag. He angles outwards. Big time hit. Gets 11. So 1st and goal. If you're Michigan State, you might want to let them score now. So now it would be about a 27-yarder or so. So handoff here. John Nelson finds his room, runs over a man. Touchdown OSU. That was a vintage Ohio State drive if I've ever seen one. My goodness, absolutely dominant. So up 7 now, 30 seconds left for Michigan State. Dude, he wanted the smoke. He ran him over. He doesn't care about it. He just saw the Nebraska game. You don't want to leave that up to the field goal kicker. As, oh my, we have a guy. There he goes. We get a return this time. Oh, baby. It ain't over yet, folks. It's not over yet. We're across the 50. They've got a timeout. They just hit a yam the last time out to Irvin. Split backs. They're floating it this time again, and nobody gets it. 55 passes here for Phillips. So at the 48 now, 21 seconds. They are in yam range. Be a screen pass here, late to the outside. Hopefully he gets out of bounds. Oh, bad angle from the defender. Gives up an extra 10 yards. So both teams making poor decisions here. We got 14 seconds left. They're 33 yards away. Plenty of time. Probably have about 3 plays. Phillips dumps it short. What are you doing? They break a tackle, but man alive. All right, you got 2 shots at the end zone. 25 seconds, or at the 25, 9 seconds left. 2nd and 1. Michigan State, he has time. Phillips to the end zone, and it tipped away. 4 seconds left. He had a man open to the left side. 4 seconds for Phillips. Can Michigan State find a way? 3rd and 1. Game on the line. He yams it deep. Tipped it. Incomplete. Ohio State will survive. Winning 39-32 on the road. Would liked a little more air on that one. That's all right. That was a very interesting game. But Ohio State gets it done, keeping their playoff hopes alive. They've got to now beat Michigan. So the game might end up having some pretty decent implications here. Yeah, Phillips might be a dog at quarterback. As this is a Ohio State cover for those of you guys following along at home. And actually the minority picked Ohio State. Interesting. So, there it is. If you're just joining us, Coach Phi, Eastern Michigan, they won outright. UNLV covered against Wyoming. Iowa State won outright, and now Ohio State covers. So we got outright cover, outright cover. Oh! Sorry, Mike. I thought you already went back to watch it. Disregard what I said. So Vincent Hoffman, he goes 24-35, 328, and 4 touchdowns. Big time day for him. They really couldn't run the ball all that well, but got it done when it mattered the most. And Tony Glover was the man, and Chris Rollins as well. On defense, you got Casey Burke at safety. Couple TFLs, best for Rice. The sack goes to Pollock, and interception goes to Burke. So he had a big-time day. And no fumbles for Ohio State. And for Michigan State, Marcus Phillips, the senior, almost threw it 60 times, 381 yards and 4 touchdowns. Tyler Peters gets 54. Nobody really running it all that well today. We saw Jason Irvin have a big-time yam. DeLuca gets 12 tackles, 5 TFLs along with it. That's crazy. No sacks, no interceptions. Deflections, no fumbles. They got 1 from Bruce Bridges. That's quite the name. And so now we'll check on the players of the game before we continue on. All right. So Hoffman, Phillips, Bridges, and Casey Burke in the Ohio State cover as we're moving along on this BearCave. Got about an hour till the tip-off between Arizona State and GCU. Tyone Grant Foster, baby, plays basketball today. I'm calling it now. He will be a lottery pick for those of you guys that follow basketball. As now we've got Notre Dame at Florida State. We've got Coach Huey taking on Coach Jackie Moon in an ACC clash. And this game would have been amazing had Notre Dame not screwed the pooch last week. However, things happen. I believe if Florida State wins, they win the division. And I think if Notre Dame wins, then they will need Florida State to lose to Pittsburgh next week as well. So Florida State most likely is going to end up winning it, but there is still a path, I believe, for somebody else. I always crunch the numbers after the weeks. A lot of these races are quite tight, But both these coaches want traditionals, so I'm not going to go crazy. But this is a 3-point favorite for Florida State, who last time we saw them had a bitter loss to Minnesota. I think Florida State might be one of the unluckiest programs in BearCave history. They find new ways to screw it up every single time. And Notre Dame has one of the all-time chokers at quarterback. So it's kind of the movable object versus the stoppable force. Like, which one's going to happen, right? So Florida State cover. Yeah, okay. So get your Bob and us going. Let's get her done. Notre Dame and Florida State. So let me know, Yui, if you're here. Heads or tails, kick or receive. Jackie Moon, if Yui is not here, you can give me a head or just a kick or receive. Kick, okay. So yeah, I don't see Yui yet, so I'm gonna assume it goes to Florida State. Remember, if it's user versus user, the away team gets the first choice because they have the option of the heads and tails. Alright, so yeah, I don't see Yui, so we'll jump on board here with Florida State. Let's get it going. And North Carolina won this week as well, so it might be over. It might be UNC versus Florida State in the ACC championship. We'll have to figure it out. This might be the oh, we got some rain. Dumping a little rain on this game is definitely going to be funny. I'm just hoping for a funny game here. These two teams always put up some great moments. Yep, EMU still has a chance to make the playoff here, Mike. We're at Doak Campbell Stadium. Got Seminole tears from IRL flowing down. Hopefully this is a better game than the real life one last week. What was it? 52-10? Oof. All right, let's see what happens. Can they get some revenge? Here we go. First score goes to Florida State. And neither of these teams are ranked by the game. I think they'd be ranked in our SFA poll as 7-3. There we go. Notre Dame 10-7. So one lead change, another one there. Florida State getting involved. We're into the third quarter now. A lot of running here, and Florida State extends the lead. Boss, come on, buddy. Fourth quarter. This is where he turns it on. All right, we'll go one play at a time here. 17-17. We knew this game would be close. It's an interception. Breckenridge throws the pick to Winnie Corso, the Charlotte transfer. 17-17. Florida State has the ball back. We'll jump in at the 2-minute mark if it's still close. They're driving very quickly. Can they score before we jump in? No. All right. 2 minutes left, tie ball game. 17-17, Jamie Breckenridge at quarterback. Here we go. 2nd and 14, he makes a move. They're running clock, interesting. Wanting to make sure Boss doesn't get his moment. 2nd and 14, here we go. Breckenridge drops back. He has time, floats it deep and over everybody's head. He's 9 of 21 on the day. Not very good. If it's me, I might play for the field goal here. 3rd and 14, just keep it on the ground. It looks like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to run the clock right now as they're going to hand this off to Burner. And he tries to get through, and he gets about 4. All right, so here comes the kicker to extend, or to give him the lead. So this one will be a 32-yarder from right hash. The kick is up, and it is good! Big-time kick there gives them the lead and potentially the division. But yes, so much time left. You got 2 timeouts for Boss, but he is one of the legendary chokers in SFA history. Here we go. 90 seconds on the clock. Oh, what a clothesline. Here comes big old Boss Hennessy. 17-31, 2:03 and a tutty. He should have his top target back in Dan Jolly. So here we go. A push would be a cover. 1st and 10, Boss Hennessy. He floats it short. Turns upfield. That's a nice gain to start the drive. Clock continues to run. Remember, field goal ties it. Touchdown wins it. Here we go. This game's destined for overtime. 3 weeks in a row, Notre Dame's been on BearCave. All have gone to OT. Come on now. Yeah, it's currently a Florida State cover. Boss, over the middle, hits his man. Easy first down. Marvin Gonzalez. So it looks like a backup running back might be playing. Not sure what happened to their main squeeze. Big day for Brandon Duckett, though. As yams that over the middle, and that's going to be a 1st and more. Across the 50, here we go. Boss is cooking. Boss has Tennessee in his blood, and you'll know how Tennessee quarterbacks play in the rain. As, oh, beautiful block. He tries to escape, and he goes down. That's a sack here. They won't give us who, but the 3rd sack of the day for the Seminoles. So 2nd and 14, 46 seconds left. Empty set here for the legendary Boss Hennessy. 3-man rush. He has time. He floats it late outside. Hits his man. Turns up field with speed. And that's Preston for 6. It'll be a 3rd and 8. The clock continues to run. No timeout. Say, use the last one! Yui, what are you doing? Oh, no. Horrific time clock management. Worse than Deion Sanders. 3rd and 8. Oh, it tipped away. Robert Jones, and he hits him with the war chant. Or the, whatever you call that, the tomahawk chop. So game on the line right here. 4th and 8. The division on the line. Florida State trips left. Boss Hennessy, season on the line. Drops back over the middle. And it tipped away! Florida State takes over! Now, it's never over until it's 000s with Florida State. But I have a feeling it's going to be over here. Yeah, bad season last year, and now potentially the division winners. As we hit 000s, State does it. How about the Jamie Breckenridge turnaround, baby? Dogwater, no. Boss Hennessy is a lot better than we've seen. There are some stinkers. Especially, even just considering 5-star quarterbacks. I would say Boss Hennessy is a bit better than Josh Gamara. It's not that bad. Like, Boss Hennessy has still made some playoffs. Well, yeah, but you know what? He drove him a little bit here. I mean, I don't know. Boss was made to be like a program like elevator, but he then went to Tennessee where he just kind of took away from the other talent. He's supposed to be the only thing on your offense, and I think that's where he would shine. He's like the classic hero ball guy. Yeah, true. Gamara never had nearly the roster. I would say maybe Gamara's best team is probably around where this Notre Dame team is. But even then, meh, maybe. All right, so let's take a look, see how this one fared out. 20-17 is your final. Burner had a 57-yarder. Yeah, definitely the rain impacted this game, as Breckenridge goes 9-21, 97 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Burner gets 40 carries, averaging 6 a carry. My God. Buggy Gumption leads the way with the receptions. And on defense, you had Brandon Duckett, 13 tackles, 5 TFLs, and you get the sack from Brixton Fisher, the transfer. No interceptions, but the deflections were Sonnen and Domino. Not sure who got the game-winning one. As we look here at Notre Dame, Boss Hennessy goes 21 of 37, 237, and a touchdown. Gonzalez led the way. It looks like Fuller left the game early on. He was averaging 5.5 a carry, so that might have hurt him a little bit, as Justin Smith was the leading receiver. And on defense, you had McKinney, 11 tackles, 3 TFLs, 1 sack for Grant. Interception goes to Winnie Corso, the SFA legend. Couple of deflections, fumble goes to Scott Grant, and that should do it. Yeah, Brixton Fisher is an SFA player. All right, so what was that, a 3-point spread for Florida State? That should be an FSU cover. Congratulations, that was a close one. Pat myself on the back for that line. So that is an FSU cover. We'll pay you out here. -3. It looks like the favorites. So a lot of people are riding Florida State. Interesting. All right, now we'll go to the... this is going to be the Patreon Game of the Week. And very interesting here, because if Oregon loses, then our team on game day will have a 2-game lead in the division. They're 4-1 currently versus 4-2. Oregon cannot lose this game. So, Coach Dave, if you're here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. I don't see Coach Dave submitting anything for Jersey, so we'll just go the basic. But this is a 13.5-point favorite, and this would be a colossal kind of a story. If Boise State somehow wins the division and Oregon doesn't, as you can see, Oregon is a 93 overall. They're one of the top 5 programs in the country when you just consider pure talent, but they just haven't been able to quite put it together. As don't count out Coach Damien. This is a coach with playoff experience. I mean, they have Tehu Nakamoto, SFA quarterback, so this definitely could be a team that makes a play here. They haven't really been good in a couple of seasons, but we'll see what you guys say. You think Boise State loses tonight? I don't know, man. We've never watched Washington State. They're historically a bad program. Boise State at least has a plethora of SFA players. Washington State only has what Skyflyer has made for him, which is like one guy. So here we go. Can Oregon get it done? And we saw USC lose on the other side. They still lead in that division, but if USC loses again, Stanford will then take the lead in that division, regardless of that head-to-head between USC and Stanford last week. So a lot of things just changing willy-nilly here. As here we go. And after this, we got some big-time matchups as well. All right, so Oregon, they literally cannot mess anything up here. You have to win this game. Because if Oregon loses this game, then Boise State can lose a game and it won't matter. All right, so I don't see Dave, so we'll go heads and kick like normal. We got Manny Yams as safety at the coin toss here. So here we go. First drive, Washington scores with ease. Oregon does respond. See if they can play some defense. Oh, man, it's a home game for Washington. This could be stingy. Washington gets a touchdown. They take a 2-score lead. Oregon, what are you doing? Oh, no. Oregon gets to the 5. Please not like this, Oregon. Dave, no. He's down 3 scores. Dave, not like this. Dave, please, please. They get 1 back. Oh, my God. They got to get a stop on defense. What is wrong with this team? They get the inches. That's huge. All right, here comes Oregon. They might tie this thing up. Can they do it before we jump in? Yes, they do. The extra point is good. 3 minutes left. Washington going on a drive here. We're going to jump in now. 2nd and 7. And it looks like they have Bryson Ford. He was the starter for them when they made the playoff a couple of years ago. And remember, this is a unique offense that they run here, as they are going to run the clock as much as possible, and I don't blame them. They've blown a 3-score lead. Second and 7, here we go. The stretch to the outside, big time blocking down the sideline. First down, Washington. Leslie Cole on the tackle. Yeah, this is a very cool offense that they run when it works. When it doesn't work, it is stinky cheese. And here we go, goal line formation. The big nasties. Oh, almost gets a man to jump as they're going to throw it out of the goal line. Bryson Ford in double coverage completes it. Oh my, balls of steel to deliver that one. And Coach Dave talking to the defenders like, you got to lock in, buddy. Got to lock in before we go on another retreat, and I got to write about it. So here's the offset eye. Handoff up the gut. Wrong hole chosen by the linebacker as Rashad Rosario gets 7. So it'll be a 3rd and 2. Oregon desperate at this point. They need a stop. They've exhausted all timeouts. Split backs. Desperate for an incompletion here. It's a handoff, and Rashad gets it, but he doesn't get the touchdown. That's the worst case scenario for Oregon. Either had to stop him for 4th or let him score a touchdown, because now Washington can just run the clock. Oh my goodness. We might actually see a Boise State win this division. This is incredible. I mean, they're still going to get the ball with about a minute to go, but my goodness. They're like a 20 overall favorite. And now, wait a second, we get a false start. I think Washington did that on purpose. The massive IQ play from Washington. Move the ball back so they can run more clock. Damian with the highest IQ play I've ever seen. The handoff to Rosario to the outside. And you wanted better clock management, Mike. There you go. As Tyreek Strider makes the tackle. But now, Washington's going to get to run this down to the last second. All hail Coach Damian here, as they're going to run the triple option. And that is going to allow him. And now they call a timeout. Not sure what we're witnessing here, but I'm not going to question Damian's method. He's been able to run an extra 40 seconds off this clock. It's going to be triple option again, as he wanted to get, I guess, a little bit more inside. So here we go. Game on the line. We'll see how much time they leave. But to win the game, it's going to be a 25-yarder just inside left hash. 28-28 to upset Oregon and reach bowl eligibility. Please snap it. Washington, here's the kick. It's up, and it is good! Unreal! Oregon never got to touch the ball. And Boise now has a 2-game lead in the division. I kid you not. That is hands down the best clock management we have ever seen in SFA history on one drive. That is by far the best sequence we've ever seen. The intentional false start to give them more room to run more clock. 99 times out of 100, they score and Oregon would get a minute left to play. Washington was in their bag. Coach Damian gets it done. And that is the type of thing that allows a Boise State to lead this division by 2 games. Unreal. Unbelievable. No, Jarkus, we all know Dion is taking the touchdown every time. He'd throw the ball on the inch-yard line to Travis Hunter. Let's be real here. And I'm all for it. Who cares about clock management when you're just better? So as we look at it now, 31-28, just Oregon just kicking themselves. They had the late comeback. It wasn't enough. They couldn't get a stop. Washington with the highest IQ play I've ever seen. Joshua Dobbs, the senior, 20 of 31, 249, and 2 touchdowns. Run the ball, Adam Williams went 22 of 88. Paul Cannon only got 12 yards. Fiker led in reception, Seal in yards. Scotland had 8 pancakes. And on defense, 14 tackles for Miller, 13 for Vincent, 2 TFLs for Reed, 2 sacks overall for the defense. And a couple deflections, fumbles, we didn't get any. And for Washington, Bryson Ford, the redshirt senior, 15 of 28, 199, game manager. They ran the ball the way they wanted to. 4 different guys had a rushing touchdown. That's the way you want to draw it up. And on defense, it was 11 tackles for White, 10 for Mack, a couple TFLs. The sacks don't go anywhere. No sacks, no picks. They just play good, hard-nosed, fought defense, it seems. Fumble for Eddie Mills, and that will do it. So that is a Washington outright victory, a shocker, a 13.5-point upset. I'm sure somebody chose it, but that is wildness. So as you look at the players of the game, Bryson Ford gets it done. You can never count out a team that's made the playoff before with playoff experience. Like Bryson Ford, he was playing in the playoff as a freshman and a sophomore. Like, yeah, this team isn't all that good because they don't get on BearCave or anything because they haven't won, but when you get that experience, you get things like that. So that's an outright win here for Washington. As we continue on, we're I guess now about halfway through BearCave, a little over, as we are now headed back to the Big Ten. I mean, technically, we just came from the Big Ten if you're thinking IRL, but we're going back to the traditional Big Ten here as we got Iowa and Missouri. And, folks, this is for the division for all the marbles. I believe there's still a scenario where if Iowa wins, then Illinois can win it as well. But at least between these two teams. Like, Minnesota, I think, clinches it outright if they win this game. So, Jarkus, if you're here, let me know. Heads or tails, kick or receive. It's Coach Mike. Or not Coach Mike, Coach Rick is the 2-point favorite. So, you got Minnesota -2, and this might be one of the last times we ever see Rayshon Gloop live. So get your gloop on, get ready to get glooped. You've been glooped. Get all of your gloopage done right now, as you may not see it again. Cryo just doesn't know ball, bro. And you get to watch one of the leading passers in the country, Rayshon Gloop, go all over Rick's dome. Come on now. Yeah, A&M Georgia is a bit of a stinker, but Georgia Tech ECU will be fun as well. All right, here we go. Battle of the Florida Rosedale, 84 overall each, very even on paper. We got tails and kick from Coach Jarkus. Let's get it going. So here we go. No snow here in Minnesota, despite a snowstorm in Ohio. I guess they're not all that close. I guess that's okay. Number 3 passing offense in the country. Yeah, it's the Battle of the Beak, of course. I mean, it really just depends. Because the problem with that game is it's on rivalry week, which is the last week of the year where division deciding games take priority over like rivalries. So maybe on there, may not. All right, so heads or tails and kick. Almost pressed heads. Might cost you the division there, as every time we see Rayshon Gloop, he seems to be balding even more. This dude hairline is losing inches by the day. So here we go. I don't really care who wins. I love Rayshon Gloop though. No score here in the first. Iowa gets us going. Minnesota, of course, responds immediately. 14-7 for Minnesota. 14-14 at halftime. Here we go. Iowa gets it done, and they respond. Every time somebody scores, the other team bangs right back. And there it is again. 5 minutes left. We'll go one play at a time. Iowa has the Rockets. Hal Miller, the Oklahoma transfer, but it's 4th and 1, and they go for it. Wow. Big time cojones here as they are still driving. Can Iowa get it done? It's 3rd and 9, 4th and 1. Are they going to kick the field goal? Yes, they do. All right, and it's Willie Anderson's kicking field goals. Oh, no. If this comes down to a field goal, we know that Iowa's cooked. But 3rd and 17 is where we're jumping in. Minnesota desperate here. 3rd and 17. They pretty much have 2 chances to get it. Can Iowa get it done? Oh, no! They got the defender to jump. Oh, no! Dan Smith, what are you doing, buddy? I don't think we've ever seen that happen where the offense gets them to jump. We're getting some incredible coaching plays, and, of course, it's Coach Rick with the high IQ here. 3rd and 12 now. Tyler, he hit as he threw. Now, will they go for it or will they punt? It looks like they're going to go for it here. All right, 4th and 12. Game not technically over as Minnesota has those timeouts and they can hold a field goal. But 4th and 12, big moment here. He floats and he catches it! It's a hospital ball, but he hangs on. John Clark. Their top target goes over 100 yards. The drive continues, showing that offsides really mattered. 1st and 10. The drive continues. He yams it over the middle, hits him again. It's Clark again. He gets 15. Now at the 49, Jarkus had him in 4th down. Not like this. Not like this. Floats it out wide late, and he goes out of bounds. That's Josh Castillo for 3. Rayshon Gloop stuck on the sideline, waiting patiently. Will he get to touch the ball again? 2nd and 7. Man in motion. It's Castillo. They run option. He flips it out. He goes to the corner, and he's tackled. What's the flag? And they get Minnesota for a clip. Ref ball coming in hot. It's going to be 2nd and 1,000,000. Still 2nd down. Oh, no. I thought for a second they might have gotten him for the unnecessary roughness late hit, but 2nd and 1,000,000. 90 seconds left. Minnesota battled down. It's a drop. They were in 2nd and like 21 earlier in the drive, so... Or it was 3rd and 17. Man, they're going empty. Nobody's covering the slot. All right, they're in zone. It's okay. Only 3-man rushing. Plenty of time for Tyler Yams. And deep, it's a first! You can't make this up! I'm so sick. Jarkus, I'm so sorry. Oh! He's had 3rd and 17 and 3rd and 21, and he gave them both up. Not like this. 1st and 10. Over the middle, the angle route. It's another first. Calvin Warren. Jarkus is absolutely sick to his stomach. Rick, not like this. Rick might have to issue a public apology. This is horrible. He did this to Florida State on BearCave 2 weeks ago. And it's a handoff to Calvin Warren. Now he still has to score the touchdown. You could stop him for a field goal. Dogwater is fuming. 70 seconds left. Split backs. Who's going to step up? It's not going to be the defense. As that's going to be a touchdown! Josh Muhammad for 16 gives Minnesota the lead. What a drive! Unbelievable! Breaks the tackle in the backfield and everything. The refs are favoring Minnesota here tonight. My God. Except, come on, Iowa. You gotta get a stop on one of those 3rd and forevers. But all this to say, it's a legacy moment for Rayshon Gloop. Down 4, a minute left as, oh my God, they got the pancakes. He angles out wide. Oh! So here comes Daddy Rayshon Gloop. He's one of the leaders in pass yardage. Rayshon Gloop, the senior, the former Washington transfer, the lore legend. Down 4, looking for a legacy drive. Rayshon Gloop. Tight end is in motion. Drop back, they bring a blitz, he picks it up. Over the middle, and it's incomplete! Oh no! Oh no! No, no, no. Oh no. 2nd and 10. Not like this, Gloop. Dumps it off. That's open, but it's going to be 3rd and short. They need a touchdown. Willie Anderson, big time play. What a career Willie Anderson has had as well. The kicking shenanigans and everything. 3rd and 1. Hal Miller in the backfield. He's healthy. They're throwing it. Dumps it to Hal Miller. That's a 1st down. You got to hurry it up. 48 seconds. They got a timeout. They need a touchdown. This is a ridiculous game. Another Minnesota just train wreck. 1st and 10. Gloop takes off. He stumbles. Oh no, he's sacked. Clock is ticking. Not like this, Gloop. Get back to the line. Come on, Gloop. Oh my God, so many seconds are ticking. Gloop over the middle, hits his man, cuts up field. Oh, whoa, whoa. Gibson might have just lost his ACL, but he pops up. The clock continues. There's only 1 timeout left. It's not looking good. Is Rhett Bush, the Yams legend. Oh, there goes Gloop. He pushes and he's short. No. No. Gloop couldn't get the first. They waste the timeout. Game is on the line right here. Trips left. Not like this. Gloop. He yams it deep. Here we go. And overthrown. Too much Gloop. And Minnesota wins the division. No way. In that play, just defines Rayshon Gloop's career, is just missing. Rayshon Gloop should have been incredible. I'm so sorry, Jarkus. That was horrific. Not the way I wanted it to end for Gloop. What a drive for Minnesota. You got to give them their flowers. Despite not having many SFA players these days, Minnesota continues to put out quality players, quality wins, quality possessions, and that's why they are winning the division yet again. You can scream ref ball all you want, but you had a 3rd and 17 you couldn't get. You had a 4th and 12 you couldn't get. You had a 3rd and 21 you couldn't get. And then you had an entire minute to do something with, and you couldn't do it. Very, very tough loss. I think the D is almost there, Jarkus. I mean, you got Silatonga. He's an insane defensive end. You might need to revamp the linebackers because you only have Germ right now. Remember, you used to have, like, those 3 insane guys. But I think the defenders, I mean, you have a couple. You got Winans. You got Hadley, who was right there. Went over his dome on that one. But they're young. They'll get better. But a tough loss here tonight. Oh, my. And that's a 4-point game, and that's a Minnesota cover. So fun game there. Tough loss. Would have loved to see Rayshon Gloop make a run. And a lot of people had Iowa. Oh, man. All right, so let's see what went down here. I mean, oh, my God, dude. I can't believe that last drive. Nauseating. Rayshon Gloop goes 25 of 39, 308, 1 touchdown, 64%. Hal Miller had a good day, 133, 4.2 a carry. Clemens had 2 touchdowns. Willie Anderson and Hal Miller led the way. And on defense, Orlando Silatonga, like we said, the sophomore, 4 TFLs, 2 sacks for Jared Gilbert, Yams legend, and another sack there. Terrence Smith gets a pick, couple deflections, 1 for Hadley, 1 for Fitzpatrick, no fumbles. And then for Minnesota, Ryan Tyler, the redshirt junior, 19 of 29, 268, and 2 touchdowns. Calvin Warren, 21 of 135. John Clark goes 7 of 137. And defensively, the Yams legend, Rhett Bush, probably our second best defender currently in that series. He had a big-time day here, 2 sacks. He got a sack as well. No interceptions, the deflections. The fumble goes to Tommy Garcia. I like those GIFs there. Drunk trolling. All right, so let's get the players of the game. I already paid that one out. We got a couple more games here before we get the Wazoo for game day. Between Boise State and Washington State, 2 teams that I don't think have ever had a game day. And since we moved over to this sim style, as this was a Minnesota cover. So we'll continue on now as we got Oklahoma taking on Missouri. So Missouri is another one of those teams that is kind of in the thick of that Big 12 race, but this is an out-of-conference game. Mainly this game is to see Oklahoma. Oklahoma looks like they very well could be a national championship contender, winning their 3rd championship in the SFA, potentially. They are number 5 in the nation. This is a 12-point favorite for Jay Jettas. We'll see if he can get upset here. So who's going to cover? Do you have Oklahoma? I mean, we saw a 13.5-point favorite lose. Are we going to see a 12-point favorite lose? Missouri has been very interesting this year as well. Let's get those Bob and us going. And we got 2 more matchups after this before game day. So we'll jump on in here. Thank you guys for watching. As things are going to start really heating up here last couple of weeks. And a couple of updates for Season 17. 1, we're going to go back to a 5-day schedule. 2, I'm completely revamping recruiting. So a lot of different things coming. Adding back a lot of stuff. Season 16 was really kind of just like taking a bit of a, I don't want to say backseat, but like a little more low-key of a season, less serious, less intense, since we had the disappointment of not being able to go to the new game, and we'll ramp it back up once Season 17 starts. So here we go, Oklahoma and Missouri. All right, so don't see Jay Jettas, so it'll be heads and kick. As we are in Columbia, strange things happen down here all the time. Remember that Georgia game a couple years ago? As 7-0 here for Oklahoma. Missouri scores. We got a tie ball game. As they're knocking on the door, they do score. And they extend it to 21. Will this end up being a blowout? Missouri kind of staying tough. This is a team that's been able to score a lot this year. One of the higher scoring teams in the country. As no, they can't do it there. So they're now down 14. They're still battling back. I mean, this is a game. And fumble. There you go. So chance here for Missouri. They don't get it. So we'll see if Oklahoma can put this thing away. They go up 2 scores. We got to see if Missouri can get one back here. They're driving. Remember, we can't jump in until the 2-minute mark. They don't get it on 4th down, so it looks like this one could very well be over. It's currently an Oklahoma cover. It's now inside 2 minutes, and it looks like Gus McFeeters and company are going to run away with this one, and that is going to wind up being a 3-score win here for Oklahoma, as we are just going to sim it away. 42-21 is your final from this game, and that is a OU cover for those of you guys at home. So we take a look, all of the big hitters. We had an 84-yarder there from McFeeters. This game was a lot closer than the score indicates, as Bullock goes 24 of 37, 440, and 2 interceptions. Gus McFeeters only 100 yards as well. 4 rushing touchdowns here for Bullock. My God. And he's the tush push, I guess, as Todd Honey goes 159. Gus McFeeters goes over 100 in receiving as well. And on defense, Willie Thompson gets 11. He has 5 TFLs. Couple for Price. Sacks, you get 0. Interceptions, 0. Deflections, got 3. And they had the 1 fumble. So they really let Missouri stay in this. John Williams had a fantastic game, all things considering. Cyrus Disco, SFA legend, didn't really have a big day. Rich Kane had a good day. Sandro Lindano still out with injury. Caden Sankers got some pancakes. Couple sacks here. Cabo Banfield gets 7 tackles. Couple interceptions as well. Like, they really played a great game, but they still somehow lost by 3 touchdowns. That's kind of crazy. So we'll get our players of the game, and I'll pay you guys out. And it looks like the minority wins that one. All right, people believed in Missouri. Did not happen, I guess. That's okay. John Williams, Jeff Brown, Brian Harrison, and Jamal Bullock get the players of the game, as that's an OU cover. So we'll continue it on here. All right, next game up is we're going down to the SEC. We got 2 teams still in the top 25, battling it out. 7-2 A&M, 6-3 Georgia. This is a 5.5-point favorite for the Georgia Bulldogs. So we'll see who do you got. Do you got Georgia? Do you have Georgia with the minus 5.5, or do you have Texas A&M with the upset? A&M has been quite feisty. Both these teams, I do believe, are locked out of their conference championships. But still a good game to watch. Let's see what happens. Herky Streets is the quarterback for A&M. I'll give you guys your minute to win your channel points here. I would go with Herky Streets here. We've watched Georgia a couple of times. Haven't really been all that interested in them actually winning, so you can see the team stats here. We'll wait a second before we actually jump into the game. I like to at least wait till there's 30 seconds on the clock. That way with the delay, by the time the kickoff happens, it should be closed. So here we go, down in Athens, the Georgia Bulldogs. And how about Georgia IRL? Currently not making the playoff if the season ended today. That's hilarious. But if we look at this, once again, Tennessee controls their own destiny like always. They always have that light end-of-season schedule. And on the other side, we know Oklahoma has already won the division. So Ole Miss and A&M and teams really just playing for 1, bowl game seeding, and 2, I mean, we still have some at-large bids. So could see something happen here, but we'll go heads and kick. Get her done. They're scared of your Bobanos, Dogwater. So first quarter, we got Georgia scoring first. 14 for Georgia. I advise you to go against Georgia. Probably shouldn't have, as 21-0. They are smoking the pack of the Aggies here on the road. 28-3. Hey, we know what happens when a Georgia team is up 28-3. Touchdown A&M. Here they come. No, 35-10. Doesn't look like we're going to see a miracle. But wait a second, you never know. Nope, definitely not. As that should do it. Massive win here for Georgia. My goodness, dominant as well. So obviously that will be factored into their ranking here in the next couple of weeks. Big time win here for Georgia at home. Big time fourth quarter. 52-17. Herky Streets did not have a good day. 14-28, 166, 1 touchdown. And running the ball, it was Rush. He didn't really do anything much today. And Ernest Barber, normally a big-time player, does nothing. And on defense here, you got Jones with 14 tackles. TFLs, 1 across the board. 1 sack for Devin Cole. No interceptions. And a couple of tips. So nothing doing here defensively. A&M. Jorge Mooney, he goes 18-30, 270, and 2 touchdowns. Run the ball. David Wright had 4 touchdowns. Big time day for him. Sonic Van Eagle, the SFA player, goes 8 for 155. And a lot of pancakes. Fernando Jose, SFA player, 3 TFLs, no sacks. The interception goes to Jason Baker, and deflections cross the board pretty even. And the fumbles go to Karan Huston. I think that's an SFA player. No, maybe not. I don't think that is. We're almost there, Dune. We're almost to the game day where, I don't know if you know, but Oregon lost. So you have a 2-game buffer now. Unbelievable things happening in the Pac-12. Now, you still got to win the Pac-12 to make the playoff, but the path is there. The path is there, and that is a Georgia cover, like, by a million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm missing a game. What game did I miss? UNLV, Iowa State, OSU, Notre Dame, Florida. So that was a FSU cover. There we go. No, I got that one. Cool. Okay, one more game here in BearCave, as now we've got the main course. Probably should have been game day, but wasn't, and it is. Hold on, let me go. Here we go. Georgia Tech and East Carolina, and the reason being because of North Carolina. With their win over Buffalo, unless they lose 2 games, which I believe their schedule remaining is like Virginia and Virginia Tech maybe, or maybe Duke, they are going to win the division. So this is more so for the chance at an at-large for Georgia Tech. So Mike really kind of playing for his playoff life here. Number 4 in the nation, playing for his playoff life. I know it seems ridiculous because it is. That's kind of what this season is about. So it's a 2-point favorite for Coach Mike, as we will, let me pay this out. And we saw East Carolina almost take down UNC last week. And this is a kind of different territory for both of these programs. Both these programs are used to beating up on North Carolina and then having this game decide the division. And Mike kind of always had my number in this game when I coach. So very interesting that they both now lost to UNC and kind of for second place here. So as we know, Georgia Tech heavy offense, ECU heavy defense, one of the best defenses in the country. Let's see what Mike said for his jersey. Standard away feels right for this game, because that really sets apart from ECU too well. Okay, so standard away, and it's 2-point favorite. And Mike wants heads and receive like normal. Cool. All right, so let's get on into this one. Number 4 in the country. Can East Carolina ruin Mike's day? You hate to see it, but if somebody's going to ruin your day, I'm glad it's East Carolina, because they've ruined my day many times in the past. So let's see what happens here. I mean, if you look at it, obviously one of the best defenses in the country, not a very good offense for East Carolina. And honestly, if you're looking at it, number 15 rush offense in the country, like I'm seeing these numbers for Georgia Tech, and it doesn't really make sense. So you feel like they're better. And now you got rain in Greenville. And that is going to help out Georgia Tech, who's a run-heavy team. Maybe the ball slips a little bit more in the option, but typically in the rain, the run-heavy teams play a lot better. So, yeah, I mean, I guess 15th rush offense in the country makes sense because Clayton Tune does have the ability to throw the ball as well. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So here we go, Dowdy Ficken, as we got heads and receive. One of the few coaches that ever wants to receive, and he will. The kick, ECU doesn't know what's good for them here, as here we go. First quarter, trying to get their 9th win of the season, as it is likely going to be very low scoring here, as we already saw a fumble, and that's a long gain, and they don't get it because it's the end of the quarter, and they only get 3. So East Carolina up early. Long drive, Georgia Tech. It looks like they got like a defensive something that set them up, and they had a field goal good, 55 yards at the end of the half for East Carolina. So 10-10 going into the break. Neither team given an inch. East Carolina scores first, and Georgia Tech responds with a big-time throw. As we change the possession, East Carolina once again going up. Things are looking scary here. Oh, no, it was a 3-and-out. We'll go one play at a time because these teams love to bleed the clock. And, oh, my gosh, East Carolina. Oh, baby. Vlad Sexton, is he going to score the touchdown? They went twice to him, and touchdown Austin Jenkins. It's a 2-score lead, and they missed the extra point. And whoa! Oh my God, Lee McDuffie! 100-yard tutty! What? What? An all-time bailout here, potentially for Georgia Tech. Is here we go. They're now down 6 with 2 minutes. Mike just got bailed. Let's see if he gets bailed even more. It's caught by Jason Smith, who is in violation of the ECU legacy rights. Heimlich Heisenberg's number is retired. Why is he on the field with that number? This is treason. Okay, now I'm cheering for Georgia Tech. You cannot be throwing Heimlich Heisenberg's number out there. Is Austin Jenkins now. He gets a nice gain. Georgia Tech has to start calling those timeouts. Breath of fresh air after the 100-yarder. Can Georgia Tech get a stop? We saw Edwin choke last week. Are they going to choke again? 2nd and 2. It's a keeper for him. He gets the first. He cuts a field. He gets hit hard. All right, kind of a last chance now. Mike's still wearing that suit under the coat. At the 25. Field goal would give them the 2-score lead. Looking really dire here now for Georgia Tech. The handoff, it's Edwin. Oh, what a pancake up the middle. There he goes. Just no run defense here for Tech. Oh, my. So now are they in a position to where they can just kneel it out? I think they may be. Except I think historically, they'll run a play on the 3rd down. So this one might just be over here for Georgia Tech. Oh, no. 2nd and 12. Yeah, it looks like they're running a play. They're going to hand it off here to the outside. Cuts in. 7 yards. They have to snap it again. I don't know if there's hope. I think if they just snap it and the game's over, but they need a turnover. Man in motion. Hand off to the outside. Here's your chance. No! He needed to push him out of bounds. And that will likely do it. East Carolina is gonna survive. Despite Lee McDuffie's attempt with the 100-yard kick return. Unless they snap it here and he misses it, it is over. So will they snap it? I don't think they will. And that will do it. East Carolina upsets Georgia Tech at home in the rain. What a win for the Pirates. They'll go to 7-3. Georgia Tech drops to 8-3. And I think that effectively clinches the division for UNC. I think with the division tiebreakers of the head-to-head, they'll have the extra game. I think even if they lose both games, it won't matter. Wow. So I'm going to have to confirm, but I do believe our ACC championship is set all the way in Week 12. I think it's going to be UNC taking on Florida State for a chance at the playoff. Yeah, both are now 2-loss. UNC still undefeated. They have the head-to-head over both teams. They lose both. It doesn't matter. That's crazy. Tough loss here for Georgia Tech. Oy. And they have had a couple of losses here in the last couple of weeks to UNC, and like at the beginning of the season, we felt like Georgia Tech was going to go a long ways this year. Vladdy Daddy gets himself into the end zone. Each team plays 12 games, and they play 8 conference games. It's been standardized. So Clayton Tooney goes 9-17, 123, and a touchdown. Running the ball, man, they just couldn't do it. Lee McDuffie was the only one, but he only got 8 carries. Leading receiver. And then defense, Hawkins and Sargent doing their thing. Brewster gets sacked for Keith Young. No interceptions. Deflections, maybe get it 1 or 2. Fumbles. They do get 2 fumbles on the night, but that's really it. And for East Carolina, Edwin Williams goes 22-33, 289, and a touchdown on Antonio Jenkins, 30 for 128 and 3 touchdowns. Receiving, Kevin Moore here gets 9 targets. Vladdy Daddy finally getting involved. And on defense, A.J. Flanagan, Yams legend, gets 8 tackles on a TFL. And returning to the lineup was Saeed Champagne. He had a deflection today, and the fumble goes to Brandon Flynn. Yeah, no, we don't do, everybody's 12 games in our schedule, and then you can play the 13th in your conference championship, and then 14th from there on. But, yeah, everybody plays 12 regular season games. We don't have anything weird with the Hawaii and Week 0 stuff. So that is going to be an ECU outright victory. Or was ECU favored in that? No, that was Georgia Tech favored. Yeah, so that's ECU outright. Very peculiar BearCave this week, but as always, folks, before we get on out of here, as is tradition, we're going to check out next week's matchups, and then we'll be back for game day in about 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go anywhere, folks, as let's take a look. Let's make sure first all games have been simmed for this week besides one. Yep. And now week 13, as we have 2 weeks left in the regular season, Baylor and Iowa State. Remember, Iowa State controls their own destiny. Baylor desperately needs a win to keep their at-large hopes alive because they are locked out of the division. This game doesn't really matter for Florida State. Obviously, they still want to keep winning. UTSA needs some wins here if they want to make a bowl. Otherwise, they're going to have to rely on winning the conference championship. Tennessee still needs to continue on winning. So look here, anything crazy? Not really so far, and not a lot of meaning behind some of these games. East Carolina, NC State will be a good one, but won't really matter. This one's huge. This one will be for the division. Southern Miss taking on Arkansas State. This one doesn't matter. Coastal's already clinched their division. Boston College needs to keep winning. North Carolina doesn't care anymore. But they could get a number 1 overall seed. And keep paying attention to these Big 12 games. If Iowa State loses, man, it could get crazy because now Nebraska has 4 losses. Winner of this game could end up winning the division, right? Auburn needs to keep winning. So we're likely, Cincy and Western Kentucky rematch of the AAC Championship. Miami, Florida, always a good one. And the Heroes game, which is always good, but doesn't have too much meaning this year. So that will do it with very interesting Week 13. We're likely going to be going to the Sun Belt. to watch Southern Miss. But that will do it for this stream. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes here for game day. Hashtag Wazoo for game day. So hope to see you guys there. Peace. Thanks for watching. All VODs will be available a little bit later on tonight.